Hello colleagues, this short video is intended to give you a brief overview of 3 ways you can create video content for your students. The first way I'm going to show you is Screencastify. This tool has been very popular lately due to the fact that in the spring they opened up their premium membership for free to educators. Unfortunately, this offer has lapsed, so the service is not completely free, though there is a free version. More on that in just a bit. As you see, I'm here in Google. I'll simply search Screencastify, and it's the #1 result. So as you see on their web page, I have a button here that says Add to Chrome. The way Screencastify works is it is an extension of the Chrome browser. So you will need to use the Chrome browser to utilize Screencastify. To install it, it's very simple. Just click this button. It'll take you to the Chrome Marketplace, the extension page, and you simply click Add to Chrome. One more box to confirm, and it's on its way to installing. And now it's installed. Easy as that. Now if you're like me and your browser has a lot of extensions installed, you may not see it straight away. Look for this little puzzle icon, click it, and you're going to see all of your extensions. You'll notice that Screencastify, because it's newly installed, does not have this little pin highlighted. If I click that, now the Screencastify extension will be available at all times in my extension menu up here. If I click it, it's going to start Screencastify, and you'll come to a page like this where it's wanting you to log in to your Google account. One big advantage of Screencastify that makes it easy to work with is it saves your video files directly to your Google Drive, so there's no additional uploading that's needed. We'll click Sign In with Google, and we'll either enter or select our school account. In my case, I'll select my school account here, and it goes ahead and logs me in. It's going to ask you for permissions for your camera and your microphone, which you of course want to grant. And now you're ready to start. So now you see that once I've signed in, when I click the Screencastify icon in the extension menu, now I have options. I can record my browser tab, my whole desktop, my webcam, and I can select an audio source for the microphone in case I have multiple mics. I can also embed the webcam, meaning that I will be on the screen as well as whatever is on my screen if I'm recording a browser tab or my whole desktop. So you would select what you want to record. In my case, I'll select browser tab and record. And now you see a timer started and I'm recording. I can notice that up here on my tab, it has a little icon that indicates it's being shared and it's being recorded. And if I want to stop, I can simply come up to the Screencastify icon again and click stop. It's going to take me to this tab here that shows me my video, gives me a way to get the shareable link from Google Drive, or some other options for sharing or downloading. Now that you've seen Screencastify in action briefly, I'd like to talk about some pros and cons. A big pro is that it's free to use a light version, if you will. The restrictions are that you can only record for up to 5 minutes at a time. With the premium version, you don't have this restriction, but it costs about $29 for educators. Let's take a look at that. If we go back to the Screencastify website, and we click pricing and then show education discounts, you can clearly see that the unlimited version is $29 per person per year, which is 40% off the regular price. If you like this tool, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and purchase it for yourself. But please, use the free version and get familiar before you do that. The second tool I'd like to show you is accessible through ClassLink, as the district has purchased a license for this tool. It's known as Wevideo. If you look in your ClassLink buttons, you should have an icon that looks like this, and if you click, you should automatically be signed in. Wevideo is a much more robust video editor than Screencastify. However, the learning curve is slightly higher, as it is more of a true timeline video editor than Screencastify. What I mean by that is, you can not only record, but upload pre-recorded clips in Wevideo, edit them together, add transition effects, add text and audio that wasn't present in the original video. Let's take a look at that. On the landing page for Wevideo, it will show you right here 4 options to create something new, or options to start with a template. Let's look at the options to create something new. You have video, recording, GIF, and podcast. The video tab will take you to the video editor and allow you to upload a pre-recorded or multiple pre-recorded video clips. This is very useful if you need to put 2 clips together. The recording tab will allow you to record your screen, your webcam, or both together, similar to Screencastify. The GIF tab will allow you to create a GIF of your very own with multiple images. And the podcast tab will allow you to easily record audio only in the podcast format. Let's take a look at the video editor. As you see here, it's giving me an option to add my media clips. If you look down here, you can see there are multiple tracks for video and 1 track for audio. I can add multiple tracks, video or audio, so I'm not limited to just 2 clips. I could have 3, 4, or as many as I needed to string together to make 1 larger video clip. This is what usually throws off a lot of people because they're not used to using a timeline video editor, or at least they're not used to using it in this type of manner. Let's look at some other options though that you can do. Let's say you had a video uploaded and you wanted to add some text. If you look at this menu right here, you can click text and it'll give you several pre-filled options for adding text. Essentially, these are templates that you would just enter your own text into. Very handy and very easy to use. Similarly, if we go to the next option, audio, this is a bank of sound effects, essentially music, background music, that you can use for your videos, as well as adding your own. Along to transitions, this will be the space in between clips if you wanted it to dissolve or wipe, or as this says, dip to black, dip to white. All these different video effects are available to you. And lastly, backgrounds is another similar thing. It will add a background into your video without you having to go and find any other type of media. It's already right here for you, a whole bank to use. As I mentioned before, this tool is a lot more robust than Screencastify, but the learning curve is slightly higher. I would advise you, both with Screencastify and with Wevideo, and really any computer software, that you just use it to learn it. The more you get in there, click buttons, click options, the more comfortable you will feel when you actually go to record. The third way to record video is really a lot of ways. We all have mobile devices. We're all used to recording video with them. These devices are perfectly capable of helping you to create videos. Of course, the extra step of getting the video off your phone and onto a computer or into your Google Drive is necessary. Typically, this is easy to achieve simply by installing the Google Drive app on your phone. However, if you would like to use your TCS Google Drive, this requires extra permissions that you may not be comfortable with on your personal device. If that is the case, I would recommend using a personal Google Drive to retrieve the video from a TCS computer and then adding it to your TCS Google Drive. Additionally, anytime you use a personal mobile device to record video, you want to make sure that you put it in landscape orientation or turn it horizontal. That means don't record the video like this, record the video like this. Another handy trick or tip is to get a small tripod for your phone. I have one here that I use frequently. It's inexpensive and it does the job great. It's small and can sit on a tabletop, or this little attachment will screw off and it actually has a little kickstand so you can use it by itself. In addition to mobile devices, you may have a personal camera at home, a DSLR or video camera, similar to what I have right here. These are also acceptable to record video. Again, you would just have the extra step of taking it off of the device and getting it onto a computer. With both of these manners of recording video, you can utilize the tool that we just saw, Wevideo, if you need to edit them in any kind of way. You would simply go to Wevideo, select the Video tab, click Add, and upload your video there. It will then be able to be dragged down to this timeline, at which point you can cut it and trim it, or add text, or any of the other features that we just talked about. Lastly, I'd like to show you maybe an unconventional way to record video, but one that may be appealing to you if you're a little tech apprehensive. And that is using Google Meet to simply record yourself. From ClassLink, you should be able to find the Google Meet button here, which will take you right in. If you click Join or Start a Meeting, you can create your own, and you will be the only participant. Now, I'm somewhat limited because I'm using my camera to record right now, and I'm using my microphone to speak with you. So I can't really show you how this works, other than to show you where the option is to start recording. And that's down here in the bottom right hand corner. If you click this vertical ellipses for more options, you'll see right at the top is Record Meeting. If you click that button, you will begin to record yourself. Similar to Screencastify, a recording from Google Meet will always be uploaded into your Google Drive when the meet is concluded or the recording has stopped. This is a very easy way to record yourself, especially if you're having trouble with some of the other methods that I mentioned. One special mention that I need to include has to do with the audio that will accompany your video. Typically, we will be using internal microphones in the devices that we're recording with, whether they're Chromebooks, personal devices, or what have you. Sometimes these microphones are not the best, So you want to make sure that you speak clearly and loudly every time you record. If you can, I would recommend picking up an external microphone like this one here, or a lapel microphone like I'm using right now. These will greatly enhance the audio quality of your recordings and allow your students to hear you that much better. In conclusion, I hope that these video recording methods appeal to you and seem easy to use. They really are, and I would encourage you to simply experiment, get in there and click around before you go to make a final recording. My last note is about camera sources. Many of you, especially in the math department, will likely need or want to use your document camera. Any of the manners of recording that I just showed you can be used with a document camera by simply selecting the document camera as the camera source. If you have trouble with this, you could always try only connecting the document camera and disconnecting any external webcam that you have so that the computer you're using will recognize that document camera. As always, if you need any assistance with these methods, please contact me via my school email. I'm ready and willing to help you create the best content you can for our students.